Good day, everyone. So here we go again with a brand new lesson, which is for our second quarter. We have here using listening strategies based on purpose. Now, listening strategies. So these are techniques or ways on how we can listen and understand much easier the things such as news, uh, TV series, or materials much better in order to gain or information or in order to understand them much better. Oops. Let's skip up. Let's skip the most of them. Ano? So before we talk about those different strategies or ways on how to listen much better, we need to understand, to know why do we listen. So we listen for what? For what reason? We listen to obtain information, news. What is the weather for today? Do we have a storm? We listen to the news, to GMA, to Kapamilya, or to the former ABS-CBN channel. To understand. Understand what? Situations, what's happening right now, understand the explanation of other people. We listen. To learn. If we do not know something, we are bored or we are too lazy to read, to note about that something, we can ask other people to explain those things to us, to teach us those things to us without the need to read. Therefore, we listen to learn, to communicate. In the communication process, or basically in talking to one another, listening is part of the communication process or the process of talking to one another. In talking to one another, you can't just simply keep on talking. Then it will become just one-sided. So, in that process, you need to stop talking sometimes and give the other people, your partner, a chance to talk as well. And you will in turn be only listening to him or her. So you will listen to him or her to communicate, to know what they are doing. Are they fine? Are they okay? Do they have problems? So there you are also able to understand, to learn, and to gain information from your classmate, from your mother, from your friends, and so on and so forth. And to enjoy. We listen to enjoy songs, raps, cartoons. So we listen to them. Why? Because we simply enjoy listening. It is much more common in listening to music. When we listen to music, we don't try to understand the lyrics. Some of us, like me, don't even try to memorize the lyrics. I only listen because the song is catchy or the song is wonderful. So here are some of the things that you should do while you are listening. So, when you are listening, let's say to the news, to some kind of presentation, or to your teacher, listening for the main idea. So, the purpose of listening is to grasp the main points of general information presented by the speaker or from the audio or video you are listening to. When you listen, there are times when you get stuck on a detail, on a word, or on a phrase that you do not understand. This can hinder you to see the bigger picture of the message. So when you listen, especially if you're studying, when you're listening to your teacher, of course your teacher will give different examples. But if you already understand the topic, so you can just simply listen to the main idea. Okay, or if you are quick to grasp the topic. So okay, what is the teacher saying? Oh, for example, subject and verb agreement. Singular subject uses verbs with s, ano? So of course the teacher will give different example. For example, a mere 8, yes, for example, like that. And he will, let's say I will give 5 examples, but you don't need to memorize, or you don't need to focus on that 5 examples. You can just focus on the main idea, which is the topic that the teacher is trying to teach to you. But sometimes, this is why we need to enhance our vocabulary. What if the video, the audio, that the news or the radio broadcasting, or the teacher that you are listening to used an unfamiliar word? And because of that word, you got stuck on that word. For example, I said, okay class, on this topic we will have a kind of conundrum. And because of that, we will need to study much harder. I used the word conundrum. So that word might get your attention. You might get stuck on that word. You will say to yourselves, oh, what is conundrum? Oh, I do not know this word. And because you are stuck in that word, then you won't be able to understand the whole idea of the topic. So that's why it is really important for you to enhance your vocabulary. So, when you are listening to get the main idea, you can possibly get the whole picture by being able to identify one crucial difference. Information comes in a sequence, and in that sequence, there are content words like nouns, pronouns, and adjectives that can help you form the picture. Therefore, you need to listen more carefully and attentively to capture the entire message. So earlier I said that if there are unfamiliar words, you might not understand the whole picture. But it can be the opposite as well in listening for the main idea. So example is that you are a policeman, policewoman, or you are a detective. Of course, there are so many information, there are so many testimonies for the crime that you are going to listen to. But you don't need to listen, or you don't need to focus on everything that the suspects or the victims would say. What you only need to do is listen or find the main idea of their of what they are saying, so that, as I stated here, you can possibly get the whole picture by being able to identify one crucial difference. If I said 100 words and only 5 of those words are really important, if you can identify, or if you can listen and identify and understand those 5 words, then you don't need to listen to the rest of the 95 words. So that is listening for the main idea. Next, listening for details. So you listen to gather specific important details or information. When you listen to get specific details like names, dates, objects, or place, you need to put your attention to the entire message of the selection that you are listening to. You can ignore anything that does not sound relevant. This way, you can narrow down your search and get the detail that you need. You can also select the materials that you are going to listen when you need the specific details. So, if the first one is you're going to get only the main idea, the one main point, the first point, the important point, this time you are also listening to get additional information to support that point. Let's go back with the example of you being a detective. For example, you, after listening to those testimonies to 5 people talking about something, you understand that what they are talking about is that there was a murder. Okay, there's a murder. That's the main point. That's the main idea. Now you are also listening for the details. Again, they're going to speak many things, but since you already know the main idea, the main point, that there was a murder, what are the things that you need to listen to? Oh, so now you're listening for details. Where were they during that time? What were they doing? What are their names? How old are they? And are there any weapons in the crime scene? Was the victim dead? Or something like that. So, now you are listening for specific details. Any other information that is not connected to the main idea, you do not need to give focus too much. So, that is listening for details. Next,